After uploading my video on the flat earth debate between Joe Rogan and Hollywood writer, director, and producer Roger Avary, the number one question I was asked in the comment section by Globers and flat earthers alike was this image I showed, is how the local sun works on the flat earth model underneath the firmament or the dome, and obviously not 93 million miles away. And I explained how the sun doesn't actually set, it's just due to perspective, just like these streetlights. They're all obviously the same height, but in the distance, due to perspective, the further you go down the line, it looks like, it appears that they're getting lower, and that's exactly how the sun works. It's not actually getting lower, it's due to how the human eye works. And again, there's a lot of people that are confused on this topic, even flat earthers, and I'll explain it in detail. But first off, let's listen to this disinfo agent, as we see here, Fake Jake, as I pointed out before, and I'll get into Dumpster Dave, Wimpy Weiss later on. But first off, let's listen to Fake Jake try to explain away the shrinking sun.
Here's a question. Have you ever seen the sun shrink into a dot? Yeah. Oh wait, you mean in real life? No.
So I'm in the desert. I'm in Nevada, about 100 miles outside of Las Vegas, and I've never seen the sun shrink into a dot in my entire life.
Now let's take a look here at Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, David Weiss, in his video presentation, always pushing disinfo, where it says here, if Earth was flat, wouldn't the sun shrink to a dot? Spoiler, no. And by this point, people in the flat earth community should understand he's nothing but a disinfo agent, just like Fake Jake. And here you see him from a previous presentation where he's pushing extra lands beyond the ice wall of Antarctica with zero evidence, constantly pushing this disinfo. And obviously, like I stated before, it goes against the biblical flat earth. Obviously, as you see here, like the Bible says, there are ends to the earth. And he's pushing a perverted version of flat earth. And let's take a look here, once again, where he states where there's no shrinking sun. It doesn't go into a dot. In this garbage presentation that you're going to see here, take a look. And as always, he doesn't actually do any video commentary. He uses some AI voice. But this ball, and this ball here, representing two suns, you know, they're basically only 5 feet apart, and basically showing how the sun doesn't actually shrink. It's based on perspective and angles, and I'm going to prove that wrong without a shadow of a doubt. Let's get right to it. First off, let's take a look at this working model of the sun over the flat earth. And as you see, it's moving between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn in the equatorial region. Now, I need to explain this for anybody that's new to my channel as far as how the sun works. I'm going to move the cursor around so people understand. It's all about where you're located on the flat earth. So say, for example, you're in the central region of Africa. The sun is going to set right overhead. I'm going to demonstrate this so it's very clear, crystal clear, for everybody to understand. And of course, Ecuador, the country of Ecuador in South America, the sun going right overhead. And when you get to the United States, that does not happen. You see the sun setting at an angle. Doesn't go directly over the United States. So come back around over Australia, specifically Darwin, and now it's coming over India. So you have this aspect. I'm going to show a clip from India. It's very relevant here, where the sun is right above India. And of course, like I mentioned, going right above Central Africa. It's all going to make sense. Also, I should mention as well Dubai. And let's get right to it. Again, how the sun will be shrinking depending on where you're located on the flat earth. Let's get right to it with this footage from Dubai. Let's take a look at what we see here. Kind of zoomed in here in this video footage, but you're going to clearly see the sun setting. I'm playing this slowly, where the sun is larger, and as it sets right at the horizon, it's shrinking into a dot. Okay, I'm going to play this video at full speed. You see, the sun, again, it doesn't actually set. It's due to perspective. Definitely, it gets smaller as it reaches the horizon. I have to really emphasize here, getting back here, it's going directly overhead. It's not at an angle. Let's play this clip at normal speed, and you're going to see it once again shrink into the distance as a dot and disappear. And this video clip from Dubai is extremely important. Not only does it debunk Fake Jake and Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole David Weiss, it completely destroys the globe. There's no way that you can have a shrinking sun with a supposed 93 million miles away. It cannot happen. The size of the sun would not change. This video is huge to show to anybody that believes in the globe. Show your teacher, show any scientist, have them attempt to debunk what I'm presenting. There's absolutely nothing they can say, there's nothing they can do to debunk what I'm presenting. This proves without a shadow of a doubt, once again, the sun is not 93 million miles away in deep space. It's a localized sun. Now, as far as India is concerned, like I showed earlier on the flat earth model, the true flat earth model, the AE map, let's take a look here. And specifically, South India, obviously closer to the equatorial region. As we zoom in, let's take a look at what we see. One specific location I'm going to show in the video of a time lapse of the sunset. And it's from here. The Kannur Lighthouse. Once again, from the southern region of India. Let's zoom out here. So again, this is very relevant to understand how the sun works on the flat earth. And due to your location on the flat earth, you're going to see the sunset differently, of course. And again, as the sun circles, it's going away from you. Not like the United States, where it circles back around. And specifically how it doesn't set away and shrink as a dot if you're, say, in Northern California, Nevada, like Fake Jake was. And to show that just one last time, just for reference, not going over the United States, passing by at an angle. Now let's take a look at the Kannur Lighthouse location in southern India and how the sun is setting directly at the horizon, again, due to location on the equatorial region. So, Disinfo Dave and Fake Jake, 100% debunked. And something else to show here besides the shrinking sun at the horizon as it so-called sets. Let's take a look at this boat here. As you see it moving from left to right, obviously it's not going to shrink. It's not like the sun going in the distance. Obviously, if this boat was going towards the horizon, it would get smaller. This is so very basic and so very simple. And for Fake Jake and Dumpster Dave not to understand something so very simple, it's beyond me. And more of the same, more examples of the sun setting due to location here in Dubai and definitely shrinking in the distance. Here's a little bit of a slow motion of the same video in a close-up. Obviously shrinking. Here's another angle from Dubai, and obviously the sun is shrinking in the distance. There's no debate. There's no dispute. This happens. And I'm going to really emphasize, it depends where you're located on the flat earth, obviously. And this will definitely put this to rest, as there is no debate how the sun works on the flat earth model. And obviously, the sun cannot shrink in the distance if we live in a globe. With the sun 93 million miles away, that's impossible. The size of the sun should never change due to distance. That great distance of 93 million miles away, it should remain the same size. And here's a vantage point from Central Africa, once again, with the sunset and obviously the sun shrinking to the size of a dot. And again, more of the same here. Now I'm going to show a vantage point from off the coast of California and San Francisco, as I shown before. This is because the sun is moving left to right, just like that boat. It's not going to change size. It's going to remain the same size, again, because it's moving left to right. It's so very, very simple to understand once you know what you're looking at and once you understand the biblical flat earth model. And there's many examples of the truth of God's created world. And there's people out there also that are going to ask certain questions, I know, after this video is uploaded, such as this: what about star trails? Very easy to explain. When people believe how southern and northern star trails are different, it's very easy to understand this. Once you understand perspective, once again, once you understand where you're standing, the direction you're filming, as you can see from this one website, with so-called northern hemisphere star trails, again, depending where you're standing, where you're looking, they're going to appear to go in a certain direction. It's so very easy to understand once you know what you're looking at. The same goes with so-called southern hemisphere star trails. The same exact thing. You see here? So very easy to understand all these concepts of how things work on the flat earth. And that gets into the bogus globe model, as you see here. They say the oldest globe model that exists was created between 1490 and 1492. So people ask on the globe side of things, well, how do you explain eclipses on a flat earth? What these people don't understand, before the globe was contrived, they were predicting eclipses thousands of years before the globe model. So in the end, when it comes down to it, it's very important to understand the biblical flat earth. And for those that deny what God created for you, shame on you. You so-called Bible believers, you believe man's word before the word of God. And it's an insult to take the word of man, and it clearly states in the Bible, in Genesis, how God created the firmament, which is firm, and how the sun and the moon are underneath. As you can clearly see here, two great lights that were set in the firmament. So make no mistake about it. Once again, if you deny God's creation and his word, then you are going with man's word, which is anti-biblical. And if you're not a Bible believer, by observation alone, you can clearly see here, this sun is not 93 million miles away, shrinking as a dot. Case closed. The earth is flat. It's immovable like the Bible states. With all these Bible verses I showed in the past. And anyways, when it comes to star circles, this would not work on an earth that's supposedly zipping through space at over 500,000 miles an hour. These star trails would just be a big blur in the sky. This is the stationary earth we're living on. And this is the wheel in the sky that keeps on turning, just like the lyrics from the music band Journey from back in the 80s.
The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. Day after day, the man with the foolish grin is keeping perfectly still. On the hill, sees the sun